Turley. And I believe that, Jonathan, we have this just in, some photos from inside the courtroom. There's no rolling cameras in the courtroom, but you have this still photo, the first to come out of this historic trial that is starting down in Lower Manhattan.
Historic because this is the first time a former U.S. president has been charged with criminal charges. Interesting that they are accusing Trump of trumped up misdemeanor charges and trying to get them turned into felony charges.
Well, the more cases against Trump, the less justice we receive as a people. You know, the opponents of Trump would have been far better off with just one case, the Mar-a-Lago case. That's based on real law, real precedent. One can disagree with the interpretations, but it's not a reach in the sense of this case. This case is creating something. It's creating a criminal code just for Trump. You have a misdemeanor whose time has expired. The statute of limitations ran out, and it was revived in this rather curious way. He's effectively arguing that Trump was filing false business records through his counsel to hide a federal crime. But it isn't a federal crime. This wasn't a campaign contribution. None of that appears to matter. And that's why a lot of us are looking at this and recoiling. This is not how the law is supposed to be. New Yorkers appear to like it this way. They elected James, who ran on bagging Trump for anything, didn't even mention what.
Yeah, Bragg basically was saying, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him for anything, right? Like, that's his whole campaign to get the DA position, was saying he was going to get Trump.
Attorney who's putting together what many of us consider to be an absurd indictment.
Honestly, at this point, it's a smear campaign. Do I think he'll be convicted? Absolutely not, unless the jury is absolutely biased. But you'll see these questions that they're being asked, and they are freaking ridiculous.
I wanted to ask you about the fact that today starts jury questions, and the Trump jury questions are going to have things like this. Have you ever attended a rally or a campaign event for Donald Trump? Do you currently follow Donald Trump on any social media site, or have you done so in the past? And have you ever attended a rally or campaign event for any anti-Trump group or organization? What do you think of these questions?
Well, the problem is that courts don't feel comfortable asking, who'd you vote for? And so they're working around the edges to try to show bias. The most important thing here is to try to isolate the worst of the jurors. Those are jurors who just desperately want to be on this jury. Many people will want to be, but are prepared to lie to do so. Now, what the defense counsel has is not their veracity on these forms, but their names. That is, even though we won't see them, the defense counsel can look at social media and see if they're lying. What is troubling is that in a couple of past Trump cases, they found out after the conviction or after the trial that jurors had lied about their past political involvements. The judges refused to toss out the verdict. Yes. So as you bring forth evidence of bias, it's sort of a freebie where you can try to remove some of these jurors.
12 jurors, 6 alternates. That's what we're trying to get to in the next 2 weeks. And I guess if you really wanted to be on it and didn't want to reveal any sort of political persuasion, you'd scrub your social media now, or maybe yesterday, or last week.
I don't know if that'll work.
Yeah, good luck with that.
How easy would it be for someone to go and just delete all their posts anti-Trump to appear non-biased? Let's skip the standard questions and get to the juicy ones. Can you give us an assurance that you'll be fair and impartial and not base your decision, in this case, upon a bias or prejudice in favor of or against a person who may appear in this trial? Doubtful. Have you, a relative, or a close friend ever worked for any company or organization that is owned or run by Donald Trump or anyone in his family? Have you, a relative, or a close friend ever worked or volunteered for a Trump presidential campaign, the Trump presidential administration, or any other political entity affiliated with Mr. Trump? Tell me who you voted for without telling me who you voted for. Have you ever attended a rally or campaign event for Donald Trump? Are you signed up for, or have you ever been signed up for, subscribed to, or followed any newsletter or email listserv run by or on behalf of Mr. Trump or the Trump Organization? Do you currently follow Donald Trump on any social media site, or have you done so in the past? Have you, a relative, or a close friend ever worked or volunteered for any anti-Trump group or organization? If you click yes to this one, it's an automatic in to the jury. Have you ever attended a rally or campaign event for any anti-Trump group or organization? Do you currently follow any anti-Trump group or organization on any social media site, or have you done so in the past? Ooh, this is a good one. Have you ever considered yourself a supporter of or belong to any of the following? Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, Boogaloo Boys, or have you ever subscribed to Conservative Vibes? Because if you haven't, subscribe now. Do you have any feelings or opinions about how Mr. Trump is being treated in this case? Unjustly. Can I be on the jury? Ooh, have you read or listened to any of the following books or podcasts? I didn't know we'd get a recommended book list. Disloyal, a memoir. Mea Culpa, the podcast. Revenge, 2022. People versus Donald Trump. Now, selecting the jurors plus alternatives is expected to take up to 2, even 3 weeks. So this is probably not going to be decided by end of day, but this is a pretty historic landmark that a former U.S. president is even getting accused of such fraudulent charges. Anyway, what do you think about this jury selection process? Do you think that this is impartial? Do you think that this is fair? Leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe to Conservative Vibes, and I will see you next time.